Welcome to Dr. Katina Talks, the podcast where we explore the journey to a more fulfilling, balanced, and meaningful life. I'm your host, Dr. Katina. Today, I want to share a story, one that started with something as ordinary as string beans, but taught me something extraordinary about love, sacrifice, and the courage to ask for what we need. Just last week, my husband and I celebrated 30 years of marriage. But this story takes me back about a decade earlier, somewhere around year 20. I had prepared dinner like I often do. It was a balanced meal and made with care. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know it was freshly prepared. And we had a protein, a carbohydrate, and my favorite vegetable at the time, string beans. Now, I've made string beans all kinds of ways. The bougie way, baked into a casserole. The soulful way, boiled down with smoked meat and potatoes. But my favorite, sauteed until tender crisp with a little bacon, onions, and garnished with finely chopped red peppers. Vegetables rotated in and out of my kitchen, but string beans always seemed to show up at least once a week and twice if there were leftovers. On this particular night, we sat down to dinner as a family, and my husband looked at his plate, then back up at me, and said, "You know I don't like string beans. I never liked string beans." I froze. "Excuse me?" After 20 years of marriage, I asked him, "Why would you eat them all this time if you didn't like them?" And he said something so simple but so profound. "Because you made them. It doesn't matter." Those words didn't come out of nowhere. My husband was born to Jamaican parents in England, then raised in New York. His mother was a nurse, but raising 3 boys alone in the projects meant life was hard. He watched her sacrifice daily, go without so that her children could have. He learned early on that love meant giving, not asking, sacrifice, not complaint. And that's the man he became. A man who gives, who provides, who quietly carries. A man who ate string beans for 20 years, not because he liked them, but because I made them. But here's the thing. As beautiful as sacrifice is, when we are responsible for silencing our own needs, there's a cost. How many times do we all do this? Quietly accepting what we don't want. Swallow down our needs, our wants, our desires because we don't want to trouble someone else. Because we'd rather be the one giving, not receiving. Consider this. At a restaurant, if our steak comes out undercooked, we'll send it back without hesitation. But at home, with the people we love, we'll endure for years without ever saying, "This isn't what I want." And that brings me to 5 powerful truths about what happens when we silence ourselves and why finding your voice matters so deeply. 1. Silence is not love. Just like my husband quietly eating string beans for years, silence can look like sacrifice. But love isn't about enduring in silence. It's about creating space for honesty. If you never voice your truth, people only love the version of you they think they know. And stop saying, "Why don't they just know? Why can't they just figure it out?" They can't. You didn't give them the roadmap, the directions to your wants and needs. 2. Hints are easy to miss. A sigh, a side comment, a little gesture, those get lost in the noise of everyday life. If your need matters, it deserves clear words. Don't leave people guessing. Give them the gift of knowing what's really in your heart. 3. Resentment grows in the shadows. When we keep quiet, we think we're keeping the peace. But over time, unmet needs turn into quiet bitterness. We start looking at the people we love and whisper, "Why don't they see me?" The truth is, they don't see us because we never allow them to. We hid behind strength, behind silence, behind service. And so they can only respond to the mask we gave them. 4. Needs are human, not weakness. You can be powerful, successful, and capable and still long for affection, attention, and understanding. Asking doesn't make you needy, it makes you real. But here's the question: why do you always get to be the strong one? Why not let vulnerability be part of the love story too? In relationships, when you never voice your needs, you unintentionally teach people that you don't need them. And that keeps love shallow instead of deep. And 5, your voice is your freedom. Every time you name a need, you step out of the quiet prison of pretending. You free yourself from the burden of always carrying alone. And here's the beauty: voicing a need doesn't only free you, it frees the other person too. It gives them a clear path to love you well. Just as you feel joy when meeting someone else's needs, they will feel joy meeting your needs. Your voice isn't just about what you get, it's about deepening connection on both sides. So here's the question I'll leave you with: where in your life are you still quietly eating the string beans, settling, hinting, pretending instead of speaking up? Here's my challenge for you. This week, I want you to look closely at where you've been responsible for silencing yourself. Where are you expecting people to read your mind, then resenting them when they can't? Where have you chosen strength so often that you've forgotten vulnerability is strength too? Pick one person, one relationship, one place where love matters most, and voice one need. Not a hint, not a sigh, words. Because love isn't just about giving, it's also about receiving. It's about letting someone else have the joy of showing up for you. And when you allow others to meet your needs, you'll find that love doesn't weaken, it expands. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Dr. Katina Talks. If today's story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs the reminder that their voice matters too. And don't forget to follow at Dr. Katina Talks on all social media to continue this journey of healing, honesty, and living more authentically. Until next time, keep asking for what you need and keep living with courage. Bye for now.